Everyone. This is John Rollins, and it is Wednesday. So that means that it is time for our weekly S.T.R.I.V.E session. S.T.R.I.V.E, strategies to remain informed, strategies to remain victorious, strategies to remain empowered. And I am hopeful that you've had an amazing week. I'm hopeful that you are experiencing the excitement, the joy, the fulfillment that comes with living a life of victory. I am enjoying what's taking place in my life, and it is always a desire of mine to try to help and spread some of the goodness that I experience. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm definitely not saying that everything in my life is the way that I want it to be, but I choose to view it from the angle that I like. I could have there's a scripture, and most of you are familiar with it, says, "This is the day that the Lord has made, and I choose to rejoice and be glad in it." I choose to enjoy life. What's the other option? You can enjoy this life, or you can go through it miserable. But let's choose to enjoy life, and I hope that's a decision that you're making. And each one of our S.T.R.I.V.E sessions are intended. It is with that purpose that we try to give you some insight, some strategies, some tips or techniques that will allow you to remain informed of things that you can do. Remain victorious in the outcomes that you're producing in your life, and be empowered to find out, to accept that you have the power within you, so that if things are not going the way that you like for them to go, that you have the power to make it different. Strategies to remain informed, strategies to remain victorious, strategies to remain empowered. All right? So strive. And our topic for this evening is results, and more results. All right. In 2017, I published this book, and I don't know if you can read it, but the title of it was Wisdom Clues. Wisdom Clues, social wisdom for an unsocial world. And that book was actually a compilation of some of the things that I put on Facebook. You may have heard me reference it in a previous session. Okay, but it's in that book, I made the statement. It says, "Our results, like a reflection from a mirror, reveal the picture of an accumulation of our thoughts, our actions, our decisions. The mirror won't change the reflection any more than the results change our thoughts, change our actions, or change our decisions. The results and the reflection change when we do." Okay, and I don't think that statement needs much clarification. However, just in case somebody is wondering, say, "John, exactly what are you saying? I mean, this mirrors and reflections and results. What are you saying?" Okay, well, let me summarize it like this. Results don't lie. The results don't lie. People lie, numbers lie, but the results tell the truth. Now, it may not always be the truth that we want to hear, but it is a truth that is difficult to deny. Our results. How many of you all remember the TV show Dragnet? And I know I'm aging myself with that, and I know that probably some people to my, I ain't never heard of a Dragnet. What's that? Is that something that you do with fishing? Well, many years ago, and we won't say how many, but many years ago, there was a TV show called Dragnet, and there was this police detective. His name was Joe Friday. And Joe Friday had this oft-quoted statement that he would use when he was interrogating people, specifically females. And his statement was, "Just the facts, man. Just the facts." Our results offer us just the facts. Our results are just the facts. Many of you probably recall hearing this statement. I don't hear this much today because we're reading different types of books now. But when I was growing up, there was this TV shows or there was books that would come up, and there was one specific story where a lady would look into the mirror and she would say, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" How many of you all remember that? But if you recall the story the way that I do, for years, the mirror would tell the person who was asking the question exactly what she wanted to hear. The mirror would say, "No one is more fair than you." But until one day, the mirror decided to give her a different answer. It's possible that some of us are still using an enchanted mirror that tells us what we want to hear. When we look into the mirror, and this could be a physical mirror, could be an emotional mirror, a relational mirror, a psychological mirror, spiritual mirror, it doesn't really matter what perspective it is that we're asking the mirror. Okay? But when we ask the question about what we're looking at or who we're looking at, are we listening to the mirror for the answer that we want to hear? Or are we interpreting the response to fit our desired picture that we have in our mind of what the answer is or what the answer should be? The mirror is telling us something, but are we interpreting what the mirror is saying? Are we interpreting it as truth, or are we slanting it in some way to give us what we want to hear? All right. You all may recall in the book of James, it talks about a person who goes and looks into the mirror and walks away and forgets how they look, forgets what the mirror showed them. He said that when a person does, it's like someone who looks into the Word of God, and then they see what's true, they see what's there, but they walk away and they forget what the mirror said, or they forget what the mirror told them. And so I think sometimes we go into our situations, we look into the mirror is showing us some specific results, some specific outcomes, revealing some truths, but we go through this process where we interpret it so that it fits what we want it to say, as opposed to dealing with what is really there. Sometimes we psych ourselves up so that we can feel better about our conditions. We can feel better about our circumstances. We give ourselves the answers that will allow us to continue moving forward. But the results, the reflections that we see in the mirror, the reflections are telling us a different story. The results don't lie. I can imagine someone hearing this and you may be saying, well, okay, now this guy has me confused. All right. In his earlier S.T.R.I.V.E sessions, he's telling me one thing, and now it sounds like he's telling me something different. I'm confused. Before he said that I believe I can select the words I use to create the outcomes that I desire. He told me that I can direct my mind to create my reality as long as I make my statements with emotion, as long as I make my statements with conviction, as long as I make my statements with faith, I can correct or direct my outcomes. And allow me to address that. Okay, by all means, I've come to accept that our mindset, which is a product of what we allow to enter in and remain in, our mindset, what we allow to enter in and remain in, thereby controlling our thoughts and actions, do have the ability to change us in our situations. Yes, I believe that we can direct our mind so that we can be in an undesirable situation, but we can change ourselves in that situation. But the results are they are reality. Now, if we can change the reality, okay, but what we're dealing with at that moment, that is a product of an accumulation of actions, accumulation of thoughts, behaviors, decisions, and it has allowed us to arrive where we are, whether we enjoy it or whether we're uncomfortable and it's undesirable. Our results are telling us the truth. Okay, maybe you've heard this statement, okay, about our thoughts. It says, and this is a statement that's been attributed to Gandhi. He says, keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior becomes your habit. Keep your habits positive because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive because your values become your destiny. Okay, so what I'm saying is we have to choose, we have to consciously choose our thoughts. We have to be intentional in our actions. We have to be intentional in our behaviors and our decisions. But we also have to be truthful about our current situation. I'm telling you, if you're in a building and this is a and you're thinking to yourself, John, I'm positive that this is just this smoke is a product of my imagination. I'm positive. And then all of a sudden, this smoke, you start to see this orange and yellow flames. And you're telling yourself, I'm positive. I'm positive that those flames are a product of what I'm envisioning. They're not reality. You're going to burn up. The results are you're in a building that's burning. And if you remain there, you're going to die. The results are telling you something, and you will be unwise to not listen to the results. So where do we go with this? Okay. My encouragement for you on today is that listen to the results. Our results are conveying a message, a powerful message, and it would be unwise of us to ignore the message. There's a lesson that our results are trying to teach us. There's a lesson that we can take away from our results. Things in our lives have turned out the way that they are for a reason. It didn't just happen. There was a reason. There's this law called the law of cause and effect, the law of sowing and reaping. We have contributed, we participated, we've allowed certain actions or inactions, decisions, thoughts, behaviors that have helped us to contribute to where we are today. My mentor, Zig Ziglar, Zig used to say, and I remember, what goes into your mind. He says, if you don't like where you are, you're not stuck there. If you don't like the results that you're getting, you don't have to continue living with those results. Each of us, this is a gift that God has given to us. It's called choice. God is he's encoded in humanity the ability to choose our actions, and our actions control our outcomes. Our actions control our results. So the results don't lie. It ain't no like I'm almost. Either you are or you're not. Either you are at your ideal weight or you're not. Either you are making the amount of money that you want to make or you're not. Either you graduated from high school, you graduated from college, you have your secondary degrees or you don't. Either you are pregnant or you're not. I don't care what that enchanted mirror tells you. The results are the results. Either you are or you're not. But if you are not, you're not stuck there. You can choose to behave differently. You can choose to think differently. You can choose to make better choices, therefore providing you with better results. All right? I hope this has blessed somebody. Strive, strategies to remain informed, strategies to remain victorious, strategies to remain empowered are results, results, and more results. All right. So let me close the way that I love to close. If you've not had someone to come into your life this past week, these last 7 days, if you've not had someone, and let me make a statement to that. If you don't have someone who's coming into your life and affirming you, call me, send me a message. You let me know, and I will tell. Okay, you. All right. God bless, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Okay, bye.